Happy Sunday, everyone. It's me. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I'm here a little late with my Love During Lockup recap for the season finale, season 5, episode 9, Too Good to Let Go. So I'm just going to let you guys join me. Hopefully, you're getting the notifications that I'm live because I know YouTube could suck with notifications. So I hope everyone is having a good weekend so far. My Sunday has been kind of surreal. If you guys watch 90 Day Fiance, guess what? Angela's mad at me again. But what else is new? And I'm going to let you guys know I am hoping to interview Candice later on tonight. We have the interview set up for 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock West Coast time, because we know Candice is on the West Coast. So we're just trying to figure out a time to get together. I was hoping to do it last night, but unfortunately, we couldn't mesh our schedules. I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler about Candace's storyline. Okay, she wanted to take her son to the pool last night. And I said, girl, take your son to the pool. We'll figure this out tomorrow. So it looks like Candace has visitation with her son, which is great. And I'm really hoping that we get together later on, 10 o'clock East Coast time, 7 o'clock West Coast time. So keep your notifications on. And hopefully I will get Candace live and we'll have a chat. So, hi everybody. Thank you for joining me. And let's get into this. Love During Lockup, the season finale. If I was going to give this season a grade as a whole, I would honestly give it a C minus. There was some points that it was really good, and there was some points that I was struggling to stay awake. I'm looking forward to the new season of Love After Lockup, which, by the way, guys, it's starting July 26th. A little birdie told me the official date. If you saw the trailer after the episode, it said that they're coming back in July. The exact date is July 26th. And so far, for returning cast members, we have Letitia, my husband, and Keith, and Shante and True. And I knew in my gut that Shante and True would be returning for Love After Lockup. Kind of surprised that we don't see Rob and Teeny on Love After Lockup, but they may be featured on Life After. We'll see. So let's get into the recap, and I'm going to start off with Rob and Teeny. The last episode, Teeny and Nehemiah, her son, were running towards Rob. Teeny was like, "I see him," and this episode, it they jump into his arms. Okay, Nehemiah was the first one to get to him, jumped into his arms. Teeny and Rob are kissing. And at one point, I swear Nehemiah's looking at them like, okay, guys, that's enough kissing. So Rob is just so happy to be out. It is surreal to him. Now he could finally touch his wife. He could enjoy physical touch with his wife, wrestling with his son, going to father-daughter dances with his daughter. He no longer has to see them through a camera or on visit. And, Rob is, speaking very positively. Okay. He says he wants to become an asset to society and not a problem, not part of the problem. Um, I'm hoping that he sticks to this. And from what I could see on Instagram, it looks like Rob already has a job and he's, holding stuff down and doing what a father figure does. Just keeping my fingers crossed that, this is going to last. So he's in the car with Teeny and he's like, I just want to get out and just take a little walk and just breathe in the air. Like everything is so surreal to him right now. So him and Nehemiah get out of the car and they take a little stroll down the road. Nehemiah jumps up on his back for a horseback ride, a piggyback ride. And, it was nice to see. Okay, it was nice to see. And just hoping that everything works out for them. I have a feeling they will be back. Okay, so that's all for Rob and Teeny. And then at the end, it said that Rob was studying for his CDL trucker's license. Best of luck. So now I want to move on to Joey and Michael. Okay. I have a feeling we are not going to see these two again. So Joey is heading to the prison. Okay. And this is a really important visit. He is going to decide at this visit whether or not this whole thing with Michael is going to work. Okay. This is the first time that he's going to be able to look at Michael in his face, look in his eyes, in person, and figure out if they're on the same page. And Joey's like all nervous as he's driving there. He's like, I don't know how this is going to turn out, whether this relationship's going to be over by the time I walk out of these gates. But, I have to do this. Um, I have to do this visit. I need to see if we're on the same page. Now, Joey, for the past couple of weeks, he's like, my priorities have changed. My mother had a stroke. It kind of like opened up my eyes to what I was doing. Is this relationship with Michael is going to work? Is he going to change? He's been out of jail so many times. I mean, Michael even says himself that he hopes that he stays sober when he comes out this time, but he's been in and out so many times he loses track. Okay. So Joey, fixes his hair, goes inside to visit Michael. Cameras aren't allowed inside. Surprise, surprise. 2 hours later, Michael walks out. And guess what? I'm sorry, not Michael. Joey walks out. And he's all googly eyed, hard hands, all in love. He's like, oh my goodness, I saw Michael. It was such a wonderful visit. Check out the picture that we took. Oh, we are totally on the same page. We're going to be together when he comes out. He's like all in love again. So he went from, this is a very important visit, I may be breaking up with him, to look at my boo Michael, look at the picture that we took. I'm going to wait for him. Hopefully he'll be out soon. We're waiting to hear from the parole board. But something, even if Michael does get out and these two get together, it's not going to last, because Michael, I'm sorry, he cannot stay sober. He will be in and out of jail. He will go back to jail once again, in my opinion. And Joey is just playing with fire with his sobriety and with his mental health, honestly, with this relationship. Okay. So I know Joey wants to be a Captain Save a Ho and save Michael from his demons and have this perfect relationship. But I think Joey needs to open up his eyes again, okay? Because his eyes seem to have closed a little bit to the reality of the situation. That's the word I'm looking for. To the reality of the situation, because he knows deep down inside that Michael and him are not going to be a good couple. Okay. And Joey, at the end of the episode, he was, sitting there, sending a message to his love. His mother has made a full recovery, thank goodness. And Joey is just waiting for Michael, for the parole board decision and to see if Michael gets out anytime soon so they could go right off happily into the sunset. So that's what's going on with Joey and Michael. Now I want to move on to good old Rick and Samantha. The ink isn't even dried on the marriage certificate yet, and this dude wants to get a divorce. His niece is getting ready to reach over the table and slap the shit out of him. Okay, his niece is like, are you fucking kidding me? You're just realizing this now about the financial part, okay, that she will have access to your money. If she doesn't want to work, she's going to be living off of you and your pension. And you're just realizing this, Rick, after you married her. I swear, I think the niece really wanted to reach across the table and slap the shit out of him. And Rick is just like, yeah, I know. I should have thought of this. I guess I'm going to see a lawyer. Samantha, meanwhile, she's fucking going nuts, okay? Because Samantha's like, I don't know what the fuck happened since we got married. And all of a sudden, there's been a shift. And I know it's not me. So he must be committing adultery with that little whore, Sandy. I know he's with that little whore, Sandy. She threw herself on him at the reunion. And I know if Rick is acting like this towards me, it has to be because he's committing adultery with that little whore. Rick is at the lawyer's office now. Okay. This lawyer is looking at him like, child, what the fuck is wrong with you? Okay. So he tells the whole story how Samantha's in jail. He married her. The ink is barely dry on the marriage certificate, but he wants to, annul, get a divorce, whatever he can do to get away from this woman, because now he realizes it's a mistake. All those scenes of his nieces trying to tell him, Uncle Rick, get your head out of your ass. This is a huge mistake. But no, it took Rick until 6 weeks after the marriage to realize that he fucked up marrying her. So he goes to this attorney, and this attorney's like, okay, your best bet is to divorce her while she's still in prison because she won't be able to fight you that much. But if you wait until she gets out of prison, Rick, you're going to fuck yourself. Okay? Because she will be able to fight and it's going to cost you tens thousands of dollars to fight this. So Mr. Cheapo, okay, who just realized that if Samantha doesn't get a real traditional job, not creating jewelry or writing a book or doing Poshmark or whatever, that if Samantha doesn't get a real 9 to 5 job, that she's going to be depending on her husband to support her. Rick, it took you after the marriage to realize this. I mean, even your boy Ricardo, the Uber driver, tried to warn you, but no, you just went into it head first, married Samantha, and now 6 weeks later, you're sitting in a lawyer's office like, I think I got myself into a pickle. You think you can help me out of this? So Samantha calls him while he's at the lawyer's office. The lawyer's like, I'm going to step out and I'll let you guys talk. So he picks up the call, and Samantha's like, listen, I need to know what the fuck is going on between us, okay? Like, are we going to do this? Are we going to work things out, or are we done? And Rick, sitting in the attorney's office, is still saying, well, I don't know. Rick, just tell her. That's it. I made a mistake. It's over. It's like, what the fuck? But no, 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 no. He's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And Samantha finally just yells at him and she's like, you know something? Forget this. I'm done. You could go have fun with Sandy. Bye. Go have fun with Sandy. Bye. And Rick is like, you know something? Maybe I should. Maybe I should go have fun with Sandy. I'm sorry. Okay. I saw this tweet and this shit had me cracking the fuck up. Samantha, you knew you were dealing with community dick Rick, okay? Because I'm sorry, this guy will basically stick it in whatever woman throws herself on him. So you're dealing with community dick Rick, and you really thought that you were going to be able to hold him down from prison, your halfway house? Just saying, girl. I mean, I know that you had this whole fantasy that he was going to be your Prince Charming and he was going to save you from the castle. Yes. Kayshawn, yes. They were so childish. Oh my God. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? So Rick is like, I'm going to divorce Samantha. And at the end, we find out that Rick filed for divorce from Samantha and her release was delayed 6 months from the halfway house. Now, I've looked up Samantha, and if you guys, checked out my word on the streets, she is still currently at the halfway house. And I know that these episodes are usually filmed maybe 6 to 8 months in advance from when we're seeing them. So Samantha is still in the halfway house. Don't know why, but she's there. So now moving on. Do I want to do annoying Ayana next? Yeah, let's do annoying, agitating, aggravating Ayana. So girl is out of prison. Okay. She served her 15 days. She's out. She is waiting for her grandmother to pick her up. Okay. First thing she does, she turns on her phone and she has a message from her boopy. Message from her boopy. And he's all like, hi, I'm so happy this is over with. I love you. And she's like, oh, my boopy sent me a message. I got a message from my boopy. So she's standing outside, pacing back and forth, waiting for her grandmother to pick her up in her little furry slippers that they kept doing close-ups on. So she she calls her grandmother and she's like, where are you? And her grandmother's like, I'm just leaving your mother's house now. I'm just leaving work now. Then I have to go to your mother's house to pick up the baby. So it's going to be a while. And she's calls her grandmother by her first name. I am like, what in the actual fuck is wrong with you, girl? Okay. And her grandmother's like, listen, you need to realize something, little girl. You need people. I don't need you. I'll get there when I get there. Click. Ayana's pacing. She's like, can somebody give me a ride? So she decides to get into an Uber because she was tired of walking. Now her grandmother and the baby are going to meet her at the probation office. She gets there. Now this scene where her daughter is running down the block and Ayana scoops her up and is kissing her. First of all, that baby is beautiful. I think that baby is so adorable. The looks on her face crack me the fuck up. She's like, what, 2? And she's already perfected the side eye. Okay. I love that little girl. So she jumps into her mother's arms. Her mother's like, I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. I miss my kids. I'm never going to do this again because without my kids, I feel like there's a piece missing, blah, 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 blah. And the whole time that she's going on and on about her kids, I'm thinking, girl, you're full of shit because you know that your boopy is your first priority. Okay. Then yourself, then maybe your kids. Okay. But your kids is not number one on that priority list. Okay. So she and her grandmother and the little girl go out to eat. Okay. She's looking forward to this meal because Ayana's words, not mine. Prison food is like, eh. Okay. And she was about to cry tears into her food to make it a little, to give her food a little seasoning. Okay. Yes. Ayana's baby is smarter than her. Yes. Yes. I agree. Okay. And yes, her kids is on the last of her list of important. Yes. So the waiter's like, hi, how are you? May I take your order? And she turns to the waiter and goes, I've been in jail. I need the good stuff. I want one of everything. Did you say you have a steak? I'll take a steak. I'll take a risotto. I'll take a pizza. I'll take everything. The waiter's like, I didn't need to know you were in jail. Okay. I just asked for your order. You didn't have to go into all that. I'll bring you your steak. Okay. So Ayana's grandmother's like, girl, I hope you learned your lesson because this time it was 15 days. Next time it's going to be a couple of months or maybe a year. So, it's really easy to get into trouble, but it's really hard to get out of it. And Ayana's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Let me just eat my meal. So she goes into the bathroom to change her clothes. Okay. She leaves the baby at the table with her grandmother. She misses her baby so much that she went to the bathroom, changed her clothes, went outside and took a phone call from her boopy. Okay. Instead of spending this time at the table with her grandmother and her daughter, she goes outside and she's talking to her boopy. Okay. So her boopy is like, listen, this is in our past now. Okay. And okay. So basically he's like, this is in our past. You need to keep your eyes on the future. I'm going to be home soon. She's like, listen, I'm not trying to be boyfriend, girlfriend anymore. I want to be your wife. And he's like, yeah, boopy, don't worry. Yeah. So now Jamal says for himself that he does want to marry Ayana. Don't get him wrong. He does want to marry her, but he's not in a rush to marry her so fast just to prove their love to other people. This sounds like a storyline for a future season of Love After Lockup because according to what they said at the end of the episode, Jamal is expected to be out in 2024, at the end of 2024. So this sounds like a storyline for a future season of Love After Lockup. He doesn't want to get married so quickly. And she wants to get married the minute he walks out the gate. Okay? Doesn't that sound like a storyline? So anyway, I got us in the car with her grandmother and the baby, and she calls her son, and she's like, "Hi, I missed you so much. Let me see what let me see what you're wearing for school." And the boy's like, "You'll see it when I get home. You'll see it when you get back to the house." Then his grandmother calls him on the other line, and he's basically like, "Mom, Granny's calling me. I gotta go," and hangs up on his mother. Okay, shows you. It just shows you something, right? Okay, the boy's mother has been gone for 15 days. He's on the phone with her for a couple of minutes. His grandmother calls, and he's like, "I gotta go. Granny's calling. Bye." So anyway, she is just, she's just. I can't wait for Jamal to come out. This whole thing was so stressful without my boopy. And the minute my boopy walks out of the prison gates, I'm gonna marry him. Okay, Ayana. Agitating, aggravating, annoying, and a whole bunch of other adjectives that I can't think of right now. You need to get your act together, your priorities in check. Okay, put your children number one at the top of your list and actually prove it with your actions and not just talking all this shit out your mouth. Because from what we see, girl, mm-mm. Anyway, I will be so glad if I don't have to watch her ever again. So now we're going to move on to Shante and True because I'm leaving the best slash worst for last. Okay. So now Shante, hi Laura, thank you so much. And thank you, Anisha. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love all you guys. Thank you. Okay. Shante and True. Boy. Now these two are going to be returning for Love After Lockup on July 26th. And I'm sorry, I get joy and red vibes from the two of them. And I think the shit is going to hit the fan on Love After Lockup. And I want to say my heart breaks for Shantae because she deserves so much better, especially hearing about her SA story last week and what happened to her at her old job. And I just want to find those guys and beat the shit out of them. And I just want to give Shantae a big hug. And I know she is really traumatized and hurting because of things that have happened to her in the past. And that's only one thing that we heard about. I have a feeling that is a drop in the bucket of what this woman has been through. I mean, we seen this season. Her own stepbrother stole money from her. Okay. I mean, that it just seems like a drop in the bucket, a drop in the bucket of the trauma that this woman has been through. So she's meeting up with her friend and she's telling her friend about her visit with True's family. Okay. And she's basically questioning this whole relationship now. Girl, you're about to pick him up in a few days. And now you're like, I don't know if I'm going to pick him up, which she does pick him up. We see it on the preview of Love After Lockup. But she's going, into this whole thing with her friend that all that money she had saved before she met True, all the 50K that she had in her account, she's lucky if she has less than $1,000 right now. Okay. All the carrying cost, I'm going to put that in quotes, carrying cost of having these two houses, one in Kansas and one in Missouri. Well, according to Starcasm, she rented both houses. Okay, so I really don't know what the carrying cost of the house that she left was. According to Starcasm, she owed some unpaid rent, but she's going on and on about basically this relationship with True is really expensive financially. And check this out, okay? Mm. She got demoted at her current job, lost all her bonuses, okay, went down in her salary, all because her company has a code of conduct. And one of her coworkers found out she was dating True, ran into the higher ups, and they decided that this was not something that they wanted to represent their company. So, girl, okay, you got demoted from your job. True basically drained all of your money, and his family told you that he is telling you one story and telling them another story. Okay, girl, I know that True was with you through the hardest and darkest times of your life, but I have a feeling in my gut, if you continue with True, there's going to be even harder and darker times. So cut him off. But if she doesn't cut him off, because I know as of right now in real time, they're still together. But I'm just. So anyway, she's sitting at the table telling her friend that she got demoted. Okay. Telling her friend she has no money and True wants all these things for when he comes out, a shirt that was like $100. And the thing that made me hit the floor. Okay, now you know True has been in jail for a long time when he wants an MP3 player. Shante is like, he wants an MP3 player. And she had me thinking that an MP3 player was something like so rare nowadays that it was going to cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, why the fuck does True want an MP3 player? Girl, I looked it up on Amazon. She could get him a decent one for $30. All the money that she has spent on him, and she is sitting there complaining about getting him an MP3 player where you could buy one on Amazon, a decent brand for $30. Anyway, girl, please. An MP3 player is the furthest from your problems with this guy. Okay, so she doesn't know what's gonna happen. He comes out in 4 days, and when the money runs out, the love runs out. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay. So we're moving on. We're leaving the best and the worst for last. Thank you so much, NS. I appreciate you. Thank you. So now we are moving on to good old Candice and Andrew. So now she's out of prison for 2 days. Okay. Oh, before I move on to them, yes, Laura Lynn. Shantae does remind me of Monique as well. It's like a combination of Joy and Monique. Yes. So Candace, girl, is getting her hair done at the salon. She's been out of prison for 2 days. Okay. And as she's getting her hair done, I was thinking, how the fuck is she gonna pay for this? But then I realized, yeah, Andrew booked this appointment 2 months ago, and guess what? He already paid for it, tip and everything. Okay, so now she has her hair done, and she feels like she could take on the world. And girl, I get that. I felt that with my soul because there is nothing like getting your hair cut, a fresh color, and walking out of the salon and you feel like you could take on the world. Yes, I agree with that. Okay, so she's all like, I could take on the world. Andrew was sitting in their apartment, sitting on the couch, staring at his phone. He's in rough shape. Andrew is in rough fucking shape. And Candace is like, he's just too needy to be in a relationship with. It is really challenging to be in a relationship with someone that is so needy. Now she calls her PO. And this is the part that had me cracking the fuck up. She calls her PO and she's like, hi, Officer Bleep. This is Candace Bleep. Now, I know I'm supposed to be staying at the New Help Wellness Center, but I have an appointment with my fiance. Didn't you just break up with him a couple of hours? Didn't you tell him that you needed a break a couple of hours before that? Officer, so I have an appointment with my fiance. He's not a felon. He's very stable and all that. I'm sure he'll be able to answer any emails or any messages that you may need from him. And her PO's like, sure, I'll just call him, ask him a couple of questions. Shouldn't be a problem. Candace, for someone that was so worried about doing this whole parole thing right and making sure all her P's and Q's were in a row, and you just lied to your PO, okay, and said you're going to be living in the apartment with your fiance who you just took a break from a couple of hours before. Okay, so now she calls Andrew. And she's like, listen, just send a text to my PO and let my PO know that I'm going to be staying in the apartment. Okay. And Andrew's like, okay, honey, whatever you need me to do. So she's like, I'm not going to be able to see you before you leave. Now that you're letting me stay in the apartment, because she asked him 14 times, can I stay in the apartment? Without any conditions, Andrew, because I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing next week. Just tell me that I could stay in the apartment. I'm not going to guarantee anything to you. Okay, but I just need to know. And Vicky, thank you so much for joining my membership. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, Andrew basically goes back to Jersey. Okay, he writes her this whole little love note. I'll be here for you forever, blah, 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 blah. Sticks it on the fridge. Okay, and he goes back to Jersey. Now, Andrew is thinking that they're on a break. Meanwhile, Candice has moved on to her new boo, her current husband, Ishmael. Ishmael and Candice were together about 5 or 6 years ago. They were together for about 7 or 8 months, and then they show, the picture of the two of them, the cute couple. And he went to prison. Then she went to prison. Okay, and then the minute she got out, and they show this in the flashback. Okay, she's sitting in the car with Andrew on the phone that Andrew bought her. She messaged him, hey, Ishmael, what's going on, boo? And she realizes that he was out of prison and he was single. And in that moment, whatever plan she had with Andrew went out the window. She's like, that's it. I'm not going to force myself into this relationship. This dude is creepy. He's needy. He needs mad attention. And I'm not the one that, is the type of chick to deal with a needy dude. So she, saw her boo, Ishmael, was free and single, and that was it. So now she's in the car with her husband. Yes, they got married. And the thing that made me laugh hysterically is when they show the picture of the two of them, and Candace has the fucking fake Louis Vuitton purse that Andrew gave her. Okay, I'm fucking dying. I'm like, you are in a picture with your new husband, and you have a purse from a dude that you basically was able to fleece. Okay, you don't want to call it scamming, Candace, because you say that he offered you all the stuff and you just took it. Okay, you didn't ask him for any of it, that he just kept offering you and offering you and offering you. And being in your position in prison with all these bridges burnt around you and really no one to support you emotionally, financially, let's face it, while you were in prison. Okay, so like you say, you didn't necessarily scam him because you didn't ask for all the stuff, but you fleeced the motherfucker. Okay, if scam is not a word that you like, Candace, you fucking fleeced him. Okay, he offered you the world, and you knew deep down inside that you were not going to be able to be in a relationship with this dude. Okay, because you said so yourself, that Andrew wanted the prison version of Candace, and the prison version of Candace and the outside world version of Candace are two different chicks. So you knew deep down inside what was going to happen. And your friend even told you. Okay, you guys remember the scene where Andrew first got to Vegas. Her friend Denise, I think her name was helping him, set up the apartment, and Candace calls. And Denise goes into the other room, and Denise is like, you are going to be able to walk all over this guy, make him do whatever you want him to do. And she just kind of giggles. So she knew. Okay, she knew what kind of dude Andrew was, and she just decided this is the best thing for me at the moment, and I'm going to go with it. This guy wants to offer me the world. He wants to offer me an apartment, wants to offer me money. Hey, if he's dumb enough to believe that this is going to work out when I get out, fuck it. I'm going to take it. And you know something? You can't necessarily be mad at her. I mean, it's not right, but hey, the guy was throwing all the shit at her without her even asking. And she's like, yo, he wants to give it to me? I'll sit here and take it. Andrew is the dumbass, okay? He's the dumbass that borrowed against his 401k, moved across. I mean, basically got this chick everything that she needed to be set up when she got out of prison, and he didn't even fucking know her. He knew the prison version of her, okay? Instead of just maybe going to pick her up, spending a couple of weeks with her, and let her stay in the new help wellness center that she hated so much, not have an apartment, not have a truck, not have all the shit for her the minute she walks out the prison gate, then maybe Andrew, would have realized that this was only a prison relationship. I hate to say it, but it was only a prison relationship. And Andrew walked right into it and he got suckered. He got suckered. So the episode ends with Candice and her husband driving off into the sunset. She called Andrew finally 3 months later to officially break it off with him, tell him things are not working. Like she said at one point, she was keeping the long distance fantasy going because, everybody needs that. So she finally officially breaks it off with Andrew 3 months later and drives out into the sunset. So now, after the episode ended on Friday, Candace had quite a lot to say. Okay. So I'm hoping to interview her later on IG. I mean, IG. On here at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock West Coast Time. But on her IG, okay, on Friday, she was going off, and I just want to share a couple of things that she posted. 1 second, guys. Let me get my thingy here. I should have set this up before I went live, but okay. So Candice, she had a lot to say after the episode. First of all, she wants everyone to know that she no longer has Andrew's ring. Okay. Andrew's ring has been gone since December. This is the ring that her husband gave her. Okay. So that was one of the many things that she wanted to clarify after the episode. She actually put up 2 reels talking about Andrew. I'm hoping to talk to her about that later when I interview her. And then she posted these messages that she says that are from Andrew's current girlfriend, who is a bigger scumbag than she could ever be. So she says that basically this girl is taking Andrew for all of his money, okay, has been threatening her, bragging about how she's taking the show money and Andrew was giving her whatever she wants. And I want to ask Candice later about, the girl saying that she's on the run and all this other crazy shit. So Candice says that Andrew is not heartbroken. He is currently in a relationship doing the same shit and that he loves giving away money just to get attention. So that is the gist of it. I'm hoping to talk to Candice later on. Okay, we're going to get into all of it. So that is basically it. And this was the season finale of Love During Lockup. And next season starts on July 26th. So thank you so much, everybody that joined me on this lazy Sunday afternoon. Okay, and stay tuned. Hopefully, your notifications will let you know when I'm live with Candice later. And I hope to see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Have a great Sunday.